You got 24 hours. Because if you don't, I promise, you'll die in here. And then your sister, and then your mom's, and not necessarily in that fucking order. Try me.
I don't think you're in a position to fucking ignore me. Someone's about to take down Carter's entire organization. Where would that leave you?
Talk to Carter, you have my word. Who's the rat?
Roman. He's got an appointment with the feds. Make me a lieutenant, or however the fuck you say it. I want protection and access. And two, I want y'all to leave my sister and my mother the fuck alone. You hear me?
You're in no position to make any fucking deals, son. You understand? I can put you right back in that fucking cage anytime. Along with your mother and your sister. Hands up.
What the fuck is
Hands
he doing
up!
here?
Put the gun down! Now! I protected our family. Isn't that what you said you want to do? He would have killed us for this shit, Ma. So I did what I had to. This is the only way we get to walk out of here alive.
Why did you tell me you stole from the fucking Russians? No, Masaju. That's your old supplier. Who you said to me, you said the shit dried up, didn't you?
Good, YouTube. It's your boy, Mr. Power, and I want to welcome you guys back for episode 8 of the Mr. Power Podcast. Look, man, I'm very excited for this episode. Got a couple updates. I got about 2 guests that I'm interviewing next week for the podcast. One of them is kind of a low-key surprise. I'm not going to name him, but obviously one of the other ones is your boy Express Your Entity, who I already kind of announced. And obviously we have MovieBot coming later down the line. I'm trying to save the MovieBot podcast for like the end of the season, right? So that we can talk about everything and kind of recap where the universe is at right now. I feel like if I just do a podcast with them right now, like I'm capping off the potential of all the conversations that we could have moving forward, right? So that's definitely on the way. You know, we're working on some things, and I want to make sure that I, have a good synopsis of what I want to talk about and the things that I want to get into for that specific interview. Make sure y'all reach out to your boy Mark Dark too. Let him know that your boy Mr. Power wants to have him on the pod. I'm a big fan of his, and always been a supporter of Mark Dark since day one. I've been telling y'all he's one of the Power OGs. Always kind of rock with him, right? So I'm also going to try to do some new format type videos, right? Some of the new podcast videos you see me coming out with in the future, you might not just see my face. I'm trying to do like more visual stuff, kind of how MovieBot does, where he has like the clips and he talks over them so that you guys have more of a visual to see. Or if you guys just prefer seeing me like this, let me know down in the comments. But this episode is about a theory, not really a theory, but something that I've noticed, right? And I want to talk about Drew's biggest mistake, right? So we know that the last 2 episodes, Drew was pretty much locked up by the task force, right? They wanted him to handle some shit. They had a snitch that they wanted him to, handle in prison, right? Drew was able to successfully take out that task, but he was also able to notice another snitch, and I believe his name was Roman, right? And he pretty much strike the deal or tried to strike a deal with Nico, right? And Nico was like, all right, if you get this shit done, you can be the lieutenant or whatever you want, right? So Drew caught 2 bodies in the span of 2 episodes, which, is up for debate of unrealistic. We don't want to get too deep into it, right? Because it is power, but it did strike me as alarming, right? And the fact that he just got away with that shit. But that's not really the point. The point is that why would you try to make a deal with dirty cops? You have no leverage. You know what I mean? You don't have leverage yet in this situation. And I feel like Drew really risked his life twice for these task force people when, he came out and they're using him again. Like he comes out of jail and Don Carter's like, he's like, you special. But like that deal, that shit wasn't with me. You know what I mean? So you gotta work for me. You gotta tell me who the connect is, right? We know that Don Carter's been trying to find Noma for the longest. So the reason that I have a problem with this whole Drew working with Don Carter is a huge problem, right? We all know, I've been saying since the beginning, that Don Carter is the biggest villain for this season. It's not Noma. Don Carter is going to be the one that's going to try to just destroy everybody's life, right? We know that he's been fucking with the Tejadas, fucking with Tariq. He killed Rashate's brother, which I'm also going to talk about in another video, in deeper fashion, right? And how Rashate potentially, doesn't believe Carter, and things that come back on him as far as the lies, because we know Tate's going to want to talk to Tariq, and Tariq's going to do some digging, get some information, and probably tell Tate like, yo, Don Carter's probably the one who murked your brother, right? And a lot of y'all think that Tate is gonna kill Carter, but again, that's for another video, right? So back to the whole Drew thing. So Drew pretty much snitched on his family, right? Told him the location of Diana and Tariq and Monet. They were at Felicia's house after the murder. They pull up, and it's a bad look for Drew. It's a very bad look for Drew, especially on the streets. You're working with a dirty cop that's giving everyone hell. How do we think that's going to work out, right? And I say this because when you look at the parallels, right? Drew working with Don Carter is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because okay, he's doing what he wanted to do, is move up in the streets and become a bigger top dog. You see this next trailer, he's looking like he's Don Carter's right hand man. But it's a negative because he's working for the opposition, right? And that opposition is hurting his own family. You know what I mean? And it's hurting everybody else in the streets. So it's like, is Drew going to flip sides and just work with Don Carter, or is he really just working with Don Carter to protect his family and to give them insight? I don't know. It's really hard to tell, and obviously we know Kane and Drew are going to want to compete for the streets. I feel like this whole situation with him working for Carter and him snitching and stuff is going to really push Kane to really want to take his brother out, right? I've been telling y'all that the whole Drew Kane part two fight has been brewing for the longest. They haven't really had any scenes since the first half of the season together, and I feel like that's a buildup. They're doing that on purpose. You know what I mean? They're doing that on purpose, and I feel like now that Kane knows about this whole Don Carter situation, he's gonna want to stick his head in there and then get involved and try to help him and protect his family. But once he realizes that Drew's on the opposition of that, how do you think he's gonna feel? That's just another reason for him to want to kill Drew, because he already wanted to kill Drew for what Drew and Diana did to Monet, right? So this is very interesting for me. This is very interesting, and I really like this storyline. I really like this Drew working with Carter storyline because it really just, I feel like it makes the show a lot more interesting. You know what I mean? It makes the show a lot more interesting in the fact that, like, okay, well, is Drew really a part of the Tejada family right now, or is he working for the feds? Because he's looking like he's working for the feds. That's what it's looking like, And he's giving all this information on Noma and this inside information on Noma and her, her business and everything. That's going to be a huge problem, right? Drew, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right. And I feel like this all started when he struck that deal with that cop, right? When he was in jail. The freaking, what's his name? Whatever his name is, Nico, right? He struck that deal with Nico. I was like, as soon as he struck that deal, I was like, yeah, you made a huge mistake. That was not the best decision to make. And now they own you even further because they have you doing more shit because you did something for them. And it's like a rabbit hole of I owe you, you owe me. That was not the smartest decision to make, right? So I really think that's a storyline we need to really focus on. Watch this whole Drew and Carter storyline. They're gonna have a lot more scenes together moving forward, especially in this next episode. And we know that pretty much like Noma, Kane, Tariq, and Monet are gonna have a scene together next episode, and they're pretty much gonna be game planning on how to take out Carter. And if Drew's anywhere a part of that, anywhere near that, he could be a body that gets dropped off. Because I told y'all, the only way for everyone to take out Carter is for everyone to team up on some Thanos type shit, right? Because everyone has one thing in common: Don Carter. He's a problem for everyone in the game right now. He's a problem for Tariq, the Tejadas, Monet, Kane, shit, Rashad Tate. You know what I mean? And I feel like if all of them could team up together, especially if you add Rashad Tate in there with his influence on the political side, I mean, they could do a lot of damage. And that's assuming that they don't want to take him out, but I'm pretty sure they want to take him out. But a lot of people are saying that they could see Don Carter surviving too and being like in another spinoff. Me personally, I don't fucking think so. He's caused too much havoc. His task force has caused way too many problems. There's absolutely no way he's making it out, and I don't think Noma is gonna make it out either, right? But I feel like Noma has a better chance of making it out than Don Carter because I just feel like Don Carter is more of a threat. But yo, I mean, for me, it's like, how are they going to close out all these storylines in these next three episodes, right? We know that Effie's mom is getting introduced. in this next episode or in these next couple episodes, and it's just like I'm very confused at what they want to do, and I'm almost positive that this show is going to end on a couple cliffhangers, not just one. It's going to end on a couple cliffhangers for a couple characters because we know a lot of these actors and actresses were saying they didn't film this with the intention of it being the last season, right? They just tried to throw this final season tag on us on some last minute shit, and they're trying to make it work. But you can even tell, like by watching this season, you could tell it wasn't supposed to be the last season. Like you can literally tell it. You can feel it, and the storylines feel rushed. A lot of things are just going in a weird, very high speed direction. And yes, I know Power Book Two Ghosts has always been a high pace, fast show, but it's faster than ever this season. So much is going on so fast. So obviously we got to see what happens. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and I will be doing more videos. I'm trying to honestly do like one long form video a day. Like I know I call this a podcast, but it's really not. Like it's just me doing longer form content. I'm trying to be more consistent with the long form content, like videos like this. I'm trying to do at least like one video a day if I can. I've been moving around lately as far as like where I'm staying at, so it's been hard to consistently find somewhere to shoot. And that's why the lighting and the graphics and everything hasn't been as good as it was like the first couple podcasts because I just have so much going on, doing the YouTube, doing the TikTok, doing the freaking Instagram reels, everything. I'm everywhere, right? I'm trying to put my face everywhere and stay as relevant as possible and keep working, right? And like I said, I will be doing Raising Canaan coverage as soon as the season's over. As soon as we get more information on that, that's what we'll be on. Appreciate you guys. Keep supporting your boy. Keep commenting, subscribe. Make sure you guys send my videos, my pages to people. We on a mission, man. We trying to be the best power content creators out there. And I feel like I'm well on my way. And I feel like I'm definitely top three. I feel like I'm top three. I feel like it's Mark Dark, MovieBot, and me. A lot of y'all talking about some dude named Rudy P Magic. I'm not really familiar with him, but shout out to him too, because I heard he's doing good work. But your boy Mr. Power is up there. And we're gonna keep working. I'm gonna catch y'all on episode 9.